Guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're just picking up where we left off with the wire tuck right now. So JD's taking off this hose right here since we have braided hoses, but we have these mocked up as well. They're not properly bolted down, but we mocked them up for the meantime. I am going to be power washing the engine, but first things first, we are going to be putting on the Cosworth Platinum. First big piece to the puzzle, and then timing cover we're gonna do next weekend since a lot more process to do. We also got these chrome and braided hoses thanks to custom printed base. Shout out to Chris from Florida, so hit him up, Instagram down below right here. He sells a complete hose kit for G35s. I think I'm missing another hose somewhere over there by the engine, but it's right over there. But right now, currently, JD's taking this hose off. So we're gonna be putting a hose here, one right here to here. This one gets replaced. This one gets replaced. And I think that back one or this one gets replaced. One of the others. All right, so we're not gonna be using this coolant, these coolant nipples on. So we're gonna be deleting this one and putting a cap on it, and then the one in the back as well.
I'm just kind of nervous about deleting this one.
This one as well.
Next to the header.
All right, so we got that one plugged up, and then we got that one plugged up. So that way we don't have to be using this coolant and this coolant, and we just put in the vacuum line. All right, so we got the Cosworth on now. So it's just tightening up the bolts. Get big. And then start up the car and see if everything is working the way it should be. All right. All right, so we got the Cosworth Platinum is on, and I just mocked up the intake, but then I realized MAP sensor needs to be connected because it's not on there, so it's tucked away in the bottom so you don't see it. So we need to take it off the OEM one, take this off, and bolt it on to the new intake. All right, so had to check the battery. The battery was a little bit disconnected, but round two, let's try it out. All right, and so here we have it, guys. We left off with just putting the Cosworth Platinum on. You guys can see. Then we got these covers. We are going to be changing all the hardware on this. We're going to be getting hardware later on for all the timing cover. But we're also going to be deleting this pulley. This big bracket that goes right here. Removing this pulley. So it goes from right here straight to the bore in the bottom. So we're going to be doing that as well. So I already have the part from Nissan, this spacer. It's about $10, so I'd rather recommend you guys get that from your local Nissan dealer. Just say it's the idler spacer that for the 06, 07 G35 coupes, if you guys are doing this on the rev up or a normal DE, because on the earlier models, all of the rest have this this bracket. So if you guys want to get that, just go to your local dealership. I think Z1 has the package, but I went the cheaper route, just got it from the dealership, and I'm just gonna get the this band from O'Reilly's or AutoZone for like 24 bucks. All right, so we're down here under the car now. So we are gonna have to be removing the oil pan and then removing all the pulleys, loosen the tensioners, which is one right here, and then the other one is right here. Also, we are gonna be getting new fans. I already ordered them from Outcast Garage, the aluminum shroud with the slim fans. So yeah, from Mishimoto. So huge shout out to Outcast for when that comes in, give it a cleaner look as well. So right now, gonna loosen this and start draining the oil, get the oil pan out to get the whole timing cover off.
Did it? Yeah. Oh, badass.
Alright, so we're also going to be draining the coolant since we are going to be changing this lower and top radiator hose to the braided one, so coolant going away as well. Alright, so this is where we're currently at. We just removed the fans and the radiator just to make more room so I don't have to take the actual radiator support off, since you guys know this is a custom radiator support and I don't want to be messing too much with it. But now we got all this open space, so we can actually remove the pulleys. So we're going to be deleting this bracket with this pulley. So this bolt, and this bolt right here, and this is where the washer is going to go. And then we're just going to start taking out all the bolts on the sides, as you guys can see, all these. And then we're going to be removing the crank pulley as well. Alright, so we got some PV blaster on the crank pulley right now. So we're going to let that soak for a good minute. So in the meantime, we started taking all these bolts out. So you guys can see we're starting to get those out. But as I'm taking them out, I am putting them on the new timing cover right here. So, you know, so you don't lose where each bolt goes where. Because most bolts are different sizes, so we're trying to keep them organized. So that's what we're doing. Impact gun for the win, of course. Definitely helps out a lot. We got a lot of bolts to go through, so I'm gonna do this quickly as I can. All right, so we tried that one method where you actually put the bar with the socket, and we leaned it against this chassis right here. I cranked the car, even though that's super sus since we have the oil pan down there. The car started up for a quick second, and I immediately turned it off because I knew the oil pan was off. And then we ended up loosening it up with the gun. The gun actually was able to crank it the opposite way. So we finally got this bolt out, and now we can actually remove the last few bolts that are down under inside the oil pan, and we can finally start getting this timing cover off. All right, so we got the timing cover off. This is the old one down here. You gotta be careful with these because these are kind of, I think JD said they're magnetic, so they're kind of stuck on there. So just be careful prying these cam covers off. We're gonna have to take this sensor off, and we're gonna be putting it on the new cam covers. And then down here we have the two bolts that come down in through the oil pan, so that's why you have to remove your oil pan, because this bolt and this bolt are in there. So that's what we're going to be doing. I am going to be getting a new hardware set for the whole timing cover because I don't like the way these bolts look. So you guys can tell they're pretty dull and just makes it look bad. So, and then right here we're just doing all the cleanup around the edge so we could put the new silicone on the new timing cover. So it's just getting all this crud off and cleaning it up. Also, we had to remove the heat shield that's down here to get this bracket off for the power steering. So we had to remove this bracket from the power steering. So it was bolted up over here in the side, as you guys can see, those two bolts. But in order to get to those two bolts, we had to remove the heat shield from the headers to get the bracket out. And then the timing cover was able to come out. All right, so we got everything cleaned up. We kind of like cleaned this bottom end right here, but once the timing cover is on, I'll take it to the car wash, give it a good power wash down there to clean that up even more. But all the edges all around cleaned up, including these surface spots right here. So all that's left is actually taking these sensors out of the cam covers and putting them on the new ones. You actually put this gray silicone, bolt them on, and that'll be good to go. Same on that side. Put these on as well, and then we actually start putting the silicone all around the back of the timing cover, and then actually put it back, and then go do everything backwards now, putting all the bolts back on, putting the power steering bracket back on, alternator back on, this tensioner back on as well, and then we should be good to go after that. I still need to get the new belts, the AC belt and the alternator belt, and then yeah, we should be good to go. And then we start pulling the rest of the braided hoses as well. All right, so here we have it, starting to add the silicone gasket maker. So here we go, putting it in. Gonna put the first bolt to hold it up. Oh, careful, careful. There it go. Go for it. This first bolt is not lined up properly. It's going this way right there. Let go. So there it is. So now we're gonna start putting all the bolts from the old timing cover on to the new one. Look at that. All right, so just came back from O'Reilly's. We got the new belts right here. We got the AC belt and alternator crank belt right here. We got some more diesel motor oil. Of course, if you guys don't know, this is what I use. 15W40 for a motor that has 241,000 miles and counting. So we got that, and then we got some 50/50, and there we have it. So we're gonna start putting these on. We got the belt. Use the, make sure you, after you do the pulley delete, or this upper pulley, where is it, this sucker right here, you won't be needing it anymore, so you have to make sure you get the smaller belt. All right, so here we have it. Belts are on. 2 brand new belts, good to go. Damn, that engine bay is looking nice. So what's left is cleaning up the gasket, old gasket maker on the oil pan and on down there. All right, so we got the lower radiator hose right there, and we got upper radiator hose, and we got this radiator hose, and we still have to do this back hose. So this one replaces this rubber one right here, and that goes to that little plastic part right there. So, but we're gonna do that one after we get the car down, just because after we get the car back down. But last but not least, to do under is put on this new Nismo from Japan magnetic oil bolt. So we're gonna be putting that on the oil pan. We got the Mishimoto fans on as well. Shout out to Outcast for providing this to replace the old beat up and cracked ones, because these are pretty broken up. As you guys can tell, yeah, they're basically torn up. This mount part is broken as well, so it was time for an upgrade for sure. All right, first startup, let's go. Got the oil, put coolant, but I know coolant still has a bunch of air bubbles in it, so we're gonna start it up, get some air bubbles out. So far so good. Alright, so trying to make sure we have no oil leaks before I put everything back. Hey guys, so this is where we're at. Finally put everything back. I had to take everything apart just because I forgot the main seal on the crank pulley, because like apparently the one it had was already like worn out, so I had to replace that one. But everything is back on, and shout out to my cousin Mars. So he brought me brand new Optima battery yellow top that we're gonna be putting on. That's gonna be the little cherry on top. Don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But also in the process of putting everything back, I ended up damaging and cracking this one, so you guys could tell. So need to get another one, and I had to take off one of the original ones and put it on the car, unfortunately. So but luckily I'm gonna be getting one shipped to me soon, so at least I'm gonna leave this one on in the meantime, just so I could drive the car around and get the new one powder coated, same color, and I'm just gonna swap them out. And again, I had to get the gaskets for these. Don't use the rubber silicone gasket maker because it will leak. I ended up using that the OEM gaskets that you could get from the dealership. I think they're about 15 bucks each, and then spending like 32, 34 bucks for both. Definitely worth it. You're not gonna have any leaks, so that's what I did with this. So no leaks. And then we're gonna be getting the new hardware from Custom Engine Base. That's gonna be arriving later this week. So just gonna swap out the battery, and then yeah, that is basically it. We are done. Fresh startup with the yellow top battery. Cap. Hell yeah. Alright guys, so that is going to be the end of today's video. It's been a pain in the ass, especially since I've actually messed up my arm, and I actually have two broken bones, one on my forearm and one on my wrist. They're cracked, I guess you could say, fractured, not broken, but it's been hard. If you guys saw my old post on community post on YouTube, you guys will know what's going on. It has a whole story right there of what happened, but it's been hard, but slowly getting movement back. Apparently I'm not supposed to let it heal straight, so even if it hurts, to move it around, but it's slowly getting better. I know it's been a long time coming, trying to get the engine bay looking good, and I still have to tuck the wires for the headlights. I'm not going to be doing the M45 covers anymore. I tried it. I was trying to trim them, make them fit, but they're just not flexible enough to get them into the shape that I want. So unfortunately, no cover. So we're going to be wire tucking the headlight harnesses as well. But other than that, again, thank you guys for always supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.